Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to understand very important topic in Java, that is arrays. Guys, arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variables for each value. For example, let's say I want to declare 5 variables for string data type. Instead of declaring them separately, why can't I have some option in which I can declare everything together in one go? And that is what array is. In array, if you want to store multiple values in a single variable of same type, you use arrays. We want not just to store values, but also to be able to quickly access each individual value. The method that we use to refer to individual values in array is called index. So guys, we are not only storing the values, we can access the values also with the help of indexes. Now, what's the meaning of this? Let's say I store 10 values in array and I want to access third value. How I will access? Because everything is stored in one variable, and if I want to access a particular value, I need to give its address. And address of a particular value is called index. Now guys, index starts from 0. That means if we have n values, we think of them as being numbered from 0 to n minus 1. N value will be stored at n minus 1 location. If we want to access third element in array, then it is 3 minus 1, 2. So index value for that element will be 2 because it's starting from 0. If you see this example, we have 10 elements in this array. That's why array length is 10. But if you look at the index, 9th value is at index number 8. So this is how addresses are located to each value in the array in the form of indexes. Now let's understand how we create arrays and what are the different types of arrays we have. So we will get started with practical implementation. So guys, in order to create array, first thing we will be doing is we will be declaring a data type of that array. That means values which I am going to store in that array will hold which type of data. Let's say in this example, I want to create array for days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I want to store all the days in one array. So I will write string because data type will be string in that case. Then square brackets and then name of the array. So I am naming it as day, assign. So here you can pass values in the array. So first value is Monday, whose index value going to be 0. Then we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. So I'm just declaring these 4 values. Close the curly braces and terminate it with semicolon. So guys, this type of array we declare when we have defined values, when we are assigning value at the time of declaration. We know about the data we want to insert into it. We want to allocate data at the time of declaration. There is another way of creating array also. Let's say I don't want to assign values at the time of declaration. Instead, I want to assign values later. In that case, this is how you will declare an array. So first of all, you will write data type. I'm going to create array for colors. So string, again square brackets, name of the array, assign, new, again data type. And here you're going to write size of your array. That means how many elements will be there in your array. So I'm writing 5 here. You can close it with semicolon. So guys, this is another way of declaring any array. Only difference is in this type, you are assigning value at the time of declaration. In this, you are not assigning value. Instead, you have specified the size of your array. That means how many elements will be there in your array. So we are saying 5 elements will be there. So now we will be assigning value to each element. Let's say at first location, I want to store value as red. So I will write name of the array, square brackets, and in square bracket we will pass the index value. So first element, that means index value going to be 0. And then here you can store the value. That is, let's say I want to store color as red at first location. If you want to store second value, you can write on color, name of your array. This is second element, assign, let's say blue, and so on. So here we have colors. So guys, this is how you can assign value to array. So this is index value 0, that means first element. Index value 1, that means second element. So guys, these are two ways of declaring arrays and assigning values to them. So now we will understand how to access length of an array. If you want to see length of any array, you have a function called length. For that, you can simply write, so you will be writing name of your array dot length, and then we will terminate it with semicolon. So guys, this will give me length of my array. But now we have to store this length into a variable. So I will be writing int a assign, and then this length will be stored in a variable called a. So if you want to display it, system.out.println, and here I can pass a. Let's see how it works. So guys, we're going to execute it. See, we got answer as 5 because length of color array is 5. So guys, this is how you can see length of any array. Like, we can do the same stuff with day also. So here I can write day. And now execute it. See here. We got array length as 4 because there are 4 elements inside it. So this is how you can access length of an array, no matter if you have assigned value at the time of declaration or if you have assigned value afterwards. You can access length of an array in the same ways. Now we will understand how to fetch values of array one by one. Let's say guys, I want to access values inside the array. I want to see what are the different values I have in array and I want it to get displayed. In order to do so, you can use for loop. How we use it? We can simply write for. Let's say I want to display all days inside the day array. So here I will write for data type of your array, so it is string. Then guys, any variable name, let's say b, colon, name of your array. So in this case, I'm using day array. So name of your array, and here I will be passing statement system dot out dot println, and in brackets I will be passing b. Terminate it with semicolon. Guys, let's understand this. I am saying please fetch values from day and map it with b. So each and every value will be mapped into b and I want to display b then. First, Monday will be mapped to b. B will be displayed. That means Monday will be displayed. Then second element is Tuesday. Tuesday will be mapped to b, displayed. Wednesday will be mapped, displayed. Thursday will be mapped, displayed. So this is how you can fetch value from any array with the help of for loop. This is also known as for each loop in Java. If you want to transverse all the elements of array or any collection, we can use for each loop. Let's see how it works. So we're going to execute it. Look at this. We got all the values Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So in simple words, in order to transverse all the values of array, we can use for each loop. Guys, next topic we will be understanding in array is 2D arrays. That means two-dimensional arrays. Difference between 1D and 2D array is 1D array will display you data in the form of list, whereas 2D array will display you data in the form of tables. So if you want to store data in the form of tables, let's say I want to display this. So let's say I want to store values in the form of tables and I want to store it like that. So my first column is salary and second column, let's say, is department number. Under salary, I want to store 2000. Under department number, I want to store 10. Then in salary, I want to store 3000 and department number 20. Let's say I want to store values like this. In order to do so, I have to create 2D array which has rows and columns with it. So I will write data type. First square bracket is for rows and second square bracket represent the column. Then you will write down name of the array. Let's say it's employee. Assign new. So I will write new data type. First square bracket represent the row. So I will be writing how many rows I want and how many columns I want. Size of your rows and column. So I want 2 rows and I want 2 columns. So this is the size of your array. 2 rows, 2 columns. Now we will be declaring values one by one. So name of your array. So 0 row, 0 column, that means this value. First row, first column. So that is salary. So I want to store value as 2000. Then let's say I want to create second row, first column. So guys, this is second row and this is my first column. So here, second row, first column, that means 1. Guys, n minus 1. Whatever the row is, minus 1. So second row, that means 2 minus 1, 1. And first column, that means 0. Assign value as 3000. So I want to now create first row, second column. First row, second column. So first row means 0. Second column means 1. Value I want to store is 10. And now next is, if you see this value, second row, second column, that means 1, 1. So value is 20. Guys, this is how you declare 2D array. In this, first square bracket represents row and second square bracket represents the column. And this is the size you declare. That means you are saying there will be 2 rows and 2 columns. If you want to display values from array, you can simply write system.out.println, and here in bracket, let's say I want to fetch first value, first row. I will be writing first row is, this is something I'm writing from my side in order to make it more understandable. And then I want to concatenate it with result I have, with the array I have. So here I can write emp first row, first column, and let's execute this. Let's execute this and see how it works. We're gonna execute it. Let's see the result. I'm just scrolling it up, and here we go. First row is 2000 because here we have stored this value and we can fetch it from here. So first row is 2000. And this is how you can fetch it. So you can fetch values from the array with the help of system.out.println, as well as you can use for loop. For loop will transfers all the elements of array one by one. So guys, in this video we understood what is 1D array and 2D array and how to fetch data from it. That's all for this video. Thanks for now.